I love the encouraging things you say right before we start. The teenagers are going to ruin this. It's day 19.
Always. Day 19.
We're trying to keep our parent sense of humor, which is not always easy. So, especially when I don't feel that well because it's PMS week, and I'm sorry.
Are you, Alice, menstruating right now?
What has that got to do with it?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
But so it was my turn to come up with a topic, and I wanted to talk about magnesium, since it's really the only supplement that you and I take consistently for
a long time.
Like just when we started our health journey.
Yeah.
I think. Does that kind of make sense? I mean, we've tried a bunch of other things, multivitamins, other stuff like that, but that's been the one thing that we've taken. And I wanted to talk about why. I know that a lot of people talk about, like, they'll take their multivitamin, and I sort of think sometimes that vitamins are a racket a little bit, because I think a lot of that you're just getting rid of.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean? Do you
agree?
I
mean, and there's certain combinations of things that, I mean, they just did a study about, what was it? It was D3.
You just told me,
and I can't remember what the compound was, the other compound
I
that
can't
you had to
remember
take.
now either.
And if you don't have enough of it in your system, your body just flushes the D3 out of your system.
What that was. You should really write this stuff down.
I'm trying to remember. I want to say it wasn't zinc,
Maybe
but
you could put it in the.
it might have been magnesium. I don't know,
Maybe
but
it was.
I think it might have been magnesium. But
Yeah.
those types of things come up all the time, and if you're not taking the right combinations,
Right.
So
because we found that when we started keto, which is pretty low carb, and you will get like muscle cramps if you don't, and it does help with sleep and going to the bathroom.
Yes, especially if you're first starting on a keto journey. I had full disclosure, I had a really hard time with constipation.
Yeah.
Who does number 2 work for? Who does number 2 work for?
That's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
Yeah.
On my first go about with keto, but thank God once we started taking magnesium, the cramps in the legs start to go away, and everything just gets better. And it's really, I guess it's really a holy triumvirate of 3 things that you want to make sure that you're getting enough of. It's potassium, salt, and magnesium. Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point. And I was trying to get like the potassium definitely from avocados. I know people are always like bananas, but
plantains, right?
Which are just a fun starchy banana, really.
Right.
But it's not sweet. But and so we double team it with making plantain chips, which I think we made a video of that, and our guacamole, which has the avocado too.
Yeah.
So, and I find when I can just straight up eat an avocado. You don't like doing that, so which is fine. So, but you're absolutely right. You have to have that balance. Although I don't recommend. Do you remember the one time I made like salt pills, and I totally barfed.
Sick as a dog now. Okay.
I don't remember why that was a recommendation, but I was like, this is not good.
If you're eating properly and you're not eating a ton of carbohydrates, if you're not eating a ton of processed food, don't worry about salting your food. I mean, salt gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have high blood pressure problems, get those taken care of first before you increase salt levels and things like that.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think that once you start down the path of no processed foods, no sugar, those kind of things are going to start to balance themselves out for the most part. I mean, obviously, unless you have some kind of condition. And I don't want to pretend to give medical advice here.
No, we're not giving any medical. This is just stuff that we've gone through.
But, we've eaten bacon and eggs for like 10 years for breakfast. And my cholesterol's great.
It's always, those numbers are always so good. So I think that's that's a problem that people...
They're finding out that sugar is a big cause of high cholesterol.
Sugar is a problem.
Because your body doesn't convert the cholesterol you use into blood level cholesterol. And I mean, there's so much stuff we could talk about forever. But yeah, but yes, the holy triumvirate of supplements. Magnesium is really the only one you need to take. It's really the one that you don't get enough of from food.
Right. Well, and I think it's the whole idea of like it being depleted from the soil.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the problem, and it's a big problem. There's a lot of problems with our food, the food industry and farming and stuff like that in our country and around the world, which we should talk about that. That's actually an interesting topic.
There's a couple different magnesiums. We take magnesium citrate. That was the one that seems to work the best for us.
Yes.
There's also a chelated magnesium, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, and then you can also get magnesium like with something else.
Right.
As well.
And there's also creams that you can put on your skin. So
yes.
Really you want to see what works for you.
I don't have a bottle, but I do. It's upstairs.
Right. See what works for you, and some of them work better than others. We took the chelated magnesium, and I don't think that worked well for us. But the magnesium citrate and the creams work really well when you're sore. Muscles are sore and things like that. So.
Yeah, and I just think that's something that if you're eating clean, I think you're going to find most people, you're going to cut out those refined carbs anyway, and you're going to eat like vegetables as your carbs. So you're really, if you're doing like, that's kind of keto. Keto is mostly like non-carby. I was going to say carborous.
Non-carborous. I like it.
I'm really tired. Vegetables. No, you know what I mean. Lower carb veggies and not a ton of fruit and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's my...
Yeah, but if you're, like we were saying, if you're not eating those things, then you're not retaining water.
Exactly, yeah.
Which means your salt levels are going to get depleted, especially if you're working out 2 times for 45 minutes.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're getting enough salt in your system. So we actually heavily salt our food.
But don't make salt pills, because you will vomit.
Don't make salt pills. I guess that's the lesson for today.
Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
That is the lesson for today.
Take your magnesium. Oh, and one magnesium, one last thing, is make sure you take it at night. Before in the evening, we take it right before we go to bed, but you can take it in the evening,
an hour or so before
before bed. That way it will help sleep and all that.
But this is absolutely not medical advice.
This is what's worked for us.
This is what we have done. And I just wanted to talk about what is, because people I know are going to ask, and I've had friends ask, who think that we know what we're talking about. Sometimes we do. But that's the one thing that that I recommend that everybody takes.
Yep.
But I'm not a doctor. So.
Nor do we play one on TV.
No, we don't.
All right. I think we're done.
I think we're so done.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.